Shalom Yesharallah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those La'akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity. Alone to Israelite foreign brothers that are like the heathens, but the line on the false side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is your brother Yakal Amam back to the video, and today's video will be entitled, As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That is a quote from what our forefather Joshua said in Joshua 24 chapter and the 15th verse, which that's his precept that we're going to start off with, because that's the same mindset we have to have, no matter what, no matter how hard it gets in our life when being in this truth. We have to be with the Lord through thick and thin, and when you go into it, this is Joshua 24:15. It says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord Yahweh, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood. And it's not talking about the actual flood during the time of Noah. This is referring to the flood is referring to the Euphrates River. Beyond the Euphrates River, which was Mesopotamia, which our forefather Abraham's father Terah, he was an idol worshiper. So they were worshiping idols, in that land. Hence why the Lord told Abraham to get away from his father Terah and his family, because they were idol worshipers. It says, or the gods or the Amorites. The Amorites were the Canaanites. They descended from Ham, which they were Hamites. Slakia. It says, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord Yahweh. That's right. So Joshua was fully persuaded in his mind that, him and his household will serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Moshai. And that's the same mindset we have to have, because our family in the world, they're idol worshipers. They worship, these pagan holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day, so on and so forth. But we're supposed to be fully locked in and fully persuaded in our mind to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Moshai. You see? Because at the end of the day, when the Lord brings that judgment, we want to be, we want to have that hedge of protection, man. You see? And when you go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19, and this is, I believe this is Moses speaking, let's see, I didn't read the whole chapter, but can read the whole chapter. But this is Deuteronomy 30 and 19. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. That's right. So we supposed to choose life, which is worshiping Yahweh Ba'ashem Moshai, keeping the laws, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, because really it's for our good. It's for our good always. The Lord didn't tell us to keep the commandments just to, put heavy burden on us, because the scriptures speak about the law is not grievous. He put He gave us the laws, such commandments, so we could be holy from all, the heathen nations, and to preserve our life, man. But because the wages of sin is death. You see, so if we fall in the Lord, worshiping Yahweh Shai, then the Lord is able to preserve us. And that's the benefits of serving the Lord. The Lord can grant you the hedge of protection, where the point He make things work out for you. Because even if you have enemies in this world, the Lord said that He will make the enemies that you have in this world will become His enemies. And the people that curse you, He will curse them. You see? So that's one of the perks in serving the Lord. He will make our enemies will be the Lord's enemies, and He will judge them. You see? But we have to be right. We have to be right in the sight of Yahweh Shai, man. And I meant to read, I just thought about it right now, but I meant to read verse 16 and Joshua 24, I'm sorry. Let's see, what's that? Slack let's go to Matthew 6 and 24. It was another precept I meant to read, but forgot which one it was, man. This is Matthew 6 and 24. It says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other." Because that's the thing, you can't serve both all at one time, simultaneously. You either going to choose worshiping Yahweh Shai, the Lord, in all truth and sincerity, or you going to worship the God of this world with Satan. You can't be both. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold on to the one and despise the other. Right. It says you cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. And what does Mammon mean? Let's define it real quick. In the blue letter. Matthew 6, verse 24. Mammon is from the Greek word mammonis, which means treasure, riches, where it is personified and opposed to Yahweh. So Mammon represents the riches, the carnal riches, because a lot of people, most of the rich people in this society, they're very corrupt inside. They may live this lavish lifestyle, but they're dead inside. They're vain. They did a lot of evil, corrupt things to get the status that they have right now. Especially the elites of Esau. They're a lot of murderers and, the P word, the PEDO, foul word. They're that. They're sacrifice a lot of children and missing people, missing women, trafficked women and men and women. So if you make it in this world, you're a Satan worshiper, man. Because no righteous man that's of the elect in this world is going to bow down to the image of Baal. They're not going to be corrupt, man. You see? But let's go to Deuteronomy 6 and 24. Yeah, that was a precept I was looking for earlier. I thought about earlier. This is Deuteronomy 26 and 24. It says, "And Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes to fear Yahweh our God for our good always." So it's for our good, man. So serving the Lord is for our good. It's not for our downfall. And a lot of things we gotta be we be restricted from. The Lord restrict us from certain things so we won't fall into the habit of sin, continuous sin. For example, the Lord may not want you to have a woman right now at the moment because He know if He give you a woman that woman may potentially turn your heart from the Lord, man. If you're the Lord's elect, the Lord won't put stumbling blocks before His elect for them to fall out the truth. The Lord won't do that. Now, the Lord can try and test His elect, see their intentions, because the Lord said that, He tries the reins in the hearts, but the Lord understands the outcome. The Lord knows if His elect going to pass that test or not before they even go through it. So, certain things are hindered from you sometimes from the Lord because He doesn't want you to, He don't want that potentially hindrance to be a stumbling block, whatever it may be. And it's actually a precept in the Apocrypha. It speaks about through one. It speaks about the Lord will hinder things from you just so you won't go into sin, something like that. Let's see, through want. Let's see. Yep, here we go, right here. This is Sirach 20 and 21 in the Apocrypha. It says, "There is that it is hindered from sinning through want, and when he taketh rest, he shall not be troubled." So the Lord will, certain things you may want, the Lord may not give it to you because He know it can lead you into sin. It could be with woman, it could be with money. Sometimes the Lord, just naming a few examples, but speaking on the money aspect, the Lord may not make you earn a lot of income because He know, it can lead to, you sinning. It can lead you, because with money you're able to feed your lust more often than you normally do if you didn't have money. So the Lord won't bless you with a lot of financially. Well, He'll make you still have income, of course, but He won't have you make more than what you need, because He know that it can potentially turn your heart away from Him if you're part of the elect, of course. You see. And let's just get that precept in the GNT. It's like, yeah, the GNT version, because sometimes the other translations, be more clear. GNT. Let's see what it says. Okay, this is Sirach 20 and 21 in GNT. If a person is too poor to afford sin, he can rest without a guilty conscience. It's really don't fit that, but yeah, but going back to Matthew, I read that already, but yeah, so that was pretty much the lesson. I can just going back to the title of the lesson, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. No matter how difficult it gets in this truth, we have to be fully persuaded in our mind to stay locked in and worshiping the Lord, man. As Apostle Paul said, in Romans 14:5, it says, "One man esteemeth one day above another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind." Yeah, so we all have to be fully persuaded in our own mind that this is the truth, the 100% truth, and that we worship Yahweh Shemosha, no matter how our life gets, how difficult or easy our life gets, being in His faith. We gotta be fully persuaded in our mind that, hey, we gonna worship Yahweh Shai no matter what. Through thick and thin. You see. So yeah, I come. Lord will edify.